Hi, this is Sandy.
And this is Trina.
Welcome to Manteca, California.
We're here again, once again,
Once again, what we're going to talk about today, Trina?
I think our topic, I think it's so close to Father's Day that I do think we should talk about it. We should talk about the
Let's talk about
experience
it.
of Father's Day. As we've all seen the experiences of Mother's Day, and lots of mothers are celebrated, and they're celebrated to a whole nother level
Right,
than we see our Father's Day experiences happening. They don't happen at least in the same way,
right.
but it does. They have created a day called Father's Day, and there are some very good fathers out there. And are some good fathers that have passed on.
Mhm.
And so we just want to talk about the experience of Father's Day. And one of the things I did say is that I don't want to assume that, it's just about daddy's little girl. I don't want us to
Right.
assume that it's just about the loss of a father. But maybe, and it could be the father himself who has experienced the loss, and whether he's lost one of his children, whether he's lost his spouse that he partnered with to have children,
Mhm.
just the experience of Father's Day, period.
And I think just to piggyback on that, I think in even I don't want to box it in too much. I like to broaden it out. Even the experience of um, maybe father is still around but not in your life. And so, how do you experience a day to celebrate on that particular day, as it's titled Father's Day, and having not the most ideal relationship with that person? So, just experiencing Father's Day all the way around.
Hmm. I did hear somebody say on Father's Day once that they acknowledged their mother on Father's Day
Hmm.
because she served in that role.
Right,
And I don't often ascribe to that because there is a role for a father. Now, in this country, we may not respect it, especially if we have an experience of a father being absent or has passed on. But
hmm,
but the truth is that there is a role for a mother, there is a role for a father, and then for those that step in and serve in those roles.
hmm,
But there is definitely a role that one should respect, and so we don't want to not respect that there is a thing called Father's Day, but there is also a role for fathers to
right,
have a day. And so whether you've been not so good a father, or whether you want to be a father, or
right.
you used to be a father, then we just still want to acknowledge that we know that there's could be some
Right.
pain associated with it,
Absolutely.
and we want to just open up this space that acknowledges that there are fathers out there who are hurting,
Right.
and there's some children out there who are hurting as a result of the loss of a father, and
Right.
so.
And not always having the traditional role as a father. My father, my biological father, passed when I was very young. My uncle stepped in and took the place of a father's figure for me, and I've recently lost him. And I know Father's Day, there's some anxiety surrounding that,
Hmm.
day for me. And we just had Mother's Day, another day that was very difficult. And so, whether you are a father or stepping into a father's role, or you're a child who never known your father, and the day is approaching, and so it can mean something different for each of us.
Hmm.
Um, I know that the father figures that I've had in my life, I've been very fortunate with my grandfather, with my uncles, with my biological father. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have had them in my life at all. The
Hmm.
fact that they're no longer here, they still very much so serve a purpose for me.
Hmm.
Their memory, their hand in raising me is a part of who I am, my identity. So for me, um, just being able to say that means something, because I know there's someone out there that has not had any figure of a father. And so the day could mean something very different, you know. Um, it could feel painful, not just on Father's Day. Father's Day is the day that we as a society may acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, every day is a day, a Father's Day. It's a Mother's Day, because every day I wake up consciously wanting to please them. Even if they're not here, I'm consciously wanting to make them proud.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I choose to see it. But there is a lot of pain surrounding a specific day when
Mm-hmm.
it's to be celebrated, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So,
And we just hope that
yeah.
we can open up this space for you to once. I mean, one thing is to kind of acknowledge that there is a Father's Day. It just,
Yeah.
again, there's so many different scenarios of what that day means,
Mhm.
what that day brings, and then how it plays out. And we don't
Right.
want to just take, again, for granted that, it's, daddy's little girl, and that, once your father dies, then it's a different type of, a day for you. But
Mhm.
I've known some men who've lost children,
Mhm.
and they are, for Father's
Absolutely.
Day for them is something, really painful.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we want to be mindful of those fathers, grandfathers, whoever, uncles, whoever have played that, you know, or been in that leading role as a father figure to anyone. Their pain, our heart goes out to those fathers,
Hmm.
as they might not be able to celebrate the day because the person that made them that father might not be here
Hmm.
any longer. So
Hmm.
that has to be hard. So we want to acknowledge those fathers. We want to pay homage to those fathers and let you know that you are in our prayers. You are recognized.
Hmm.
We do realize and understand that you do exist out there, and it's not talked about. You know, we often talk about, you know, a lot of grief and a lot of different roles, but I think for a man, just in general, we often think he doesn't need that kind of support, that kind of shoulder, because he's a
Hmm.
man. And so you have this, you know, this label that we've created that we just, you know, don't always soften our hearts and get sensitive to the point where we can say they
Hmm.
too need a shoulder, they too
Yeah. Yeah.
need the support and the love of those around them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
there's stereotypes with strong, those kinds of
Right.
words too. And so there, I mean, there are some people who are just who have been very fortunate
Hmm.
to have more than one father figure, like you just explained, and that person is no longer here. So, this space is for those. We welcome, that experience as
Right.
well, that we understand the loss of a father, a loss of even a father figure.
Right.
So I mean, just we thought about it, and we thought we want to open up this space, and we
Right.
know that some of our cohorts are actually doing segments
Hmm.
about grief, about Father's Day, and
Right.
so we thought we would join them and open up again this space that would allow you to just have some input if you'd like to maybe chime in and send a message or anything we could take a moment to read back or even
Absolutely.
address it, and if you just want to talk even further, we are
Right.
here. We are um, we can definitely be contacted to
Absolutely.
have that conversation. It's kind of hard to just do it in general, right? We're
Hmm.
just doing it in general because there's so many different lanes you
Hmm.
can go in when you're talking about Father's
Hmm.
Day or even Mother's Day. Just
Hmm.
there's so many different lanes. So we want to acknowledge the lanes, but we also want you to know that we are here and
Absolutely.
we are definitely aware, and I want to make sure that let's all have an assignment to
Hmm.
acknowledge a man
Hmm.
um, who may have served in a role for someone else, and even if it's not a father. I know I said I reject Mother's Day being called that when I'm not anyone's mother. But the more I think about it, I want to acknowledge a man who has stepped up and served in a role, or even
Absolutely.
a child who's lost their
Absolutely.
father. So
Absolutely.
make it an intentional
Right.
effort to
Yeah,
acknowledge
we
someone.
just want to give you that space. And I know sometimes, just in general, a lot of times men will suffer in silence and they
Hmm.
won't really, disclose the pain or the heaviness that they're feeling. And
Hmm.
so, this is what this format is for. We just want to remind you. Um, Sometimes it's easier to talk to the people you don't know or don't know you. Sometimes it's easier to have that organic conversation because
Hmm.
there's no judgment or there's no embarrassment or there's no whatever it is that you think talking to someone close might have, and so you choose not to. This is what this platform is for,
Right, right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think about going into the airport. I'll say this real quickly that, and then just hearing conversations that people will be very comfortable talking to strangers about feelings rather than people that are very
Mm-hmm.
close to them. That a stranger might be able to
Right.
tell you how that person felt or was thinking, and you'd be like, I've never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Mm-hmm.
be mindful of that. I mean, if it is that you're a stranger and I could, somehow reach you or reach out to you, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. And we really appreciate you allowing us to have this kind of transparency with you and inviting you into our space, into our lives to be a support system for you. Believe it or not, we say this often. It also helps us.
Yes,
And so we just want to encourage you and to remind you you are seen. We know that you're out there. We are praying for you. We
yes,
are wishing you the best as the day approaches and every day. And you do not have to suffer in silence. You do have people who care and want to be of service to you. So, again, as Trina said, please do not hesitate to reach out. And if it's not you, if it's someone that you think might benefit from this video and that you can encourage them by sharing this, we would really appreciate that. And any comment or feedback that you might have for us, we also welcome it. One last thing, please don't forget to visit your lighthouse.
it'll help you find your way out of the darkness.
Until next time,
Bye bye.
bye bye.